Welcome back, everyone. My name is Oge Onabolgo, Director of the Africa Program with the Wilson Center. Glad to be joined again by Witney Schneidman, member of our Advisory Council of the Africa Program. Witney joining us from Johannesburg, South Africa, and where he is attending the AGOA Forum. Witney, tell us your impressions thus far. You've been there for 2-3 days now. So what have been your impressions so far?
So yesterday was, well, first of all, thank you. It's great to be back with you and glad we're doing this readout together. Yesterday was the private sector session of the AGOA Forum, and it was really robust. I think that's the word that was on everybody's lips, actually. There's a strong exhibition center with many products from South Africa and the region, industrial products, agricultural products, fashion products, and it was just really good to see. And there's a full day of panels discussing data, discussing agriculture, discussing how to revitalize AGOA, that were all extremely well attended. So there's just great energy yesterday in the room.
It's wonderful, great energy. Coming from this point on great energy and robust conversation that you've highlighted, I know that there are discussions about the reauthorization of AGOA. So what are your thoughts from the conversations you've participated in on what Africans and US leaders would like to see in a reauthorized AGOA?
Well, there was a meeting of African trade ministers yesterday, and I got some insight, some readout from what they're interested in, which I'm happy to share. And one is that they would like to see the annual review of AGOA extended to 3 years instead of the current 1 year. They feel that would give more certainty to companies investing and governments for their planning. Second, the African ministers would like the U.S. to reconsider the recent exclusion of the 4 countries, Gabon, Niger, Uganda, and I believe it was Mali was the 4th one. Mm-hmm. They would like the U.S. not to put levies on steel, bring that in duty-free. Those levies currently exist. They're from the last administration. They'd like to see AGOA extended for another 10 years, but they're also supportive of Senator Johnson's legislation that would extend AGOA 20 years if that can be passed. And finally, they would like all members who endorse the AFCFTA to become AGOA eligible as well. So that would give nice symmetry to AGOA and the AFCFTA. So those are some of the highlights that are on the mind of the African ministers.
Thank you so much, Witney. Those are some concrete highlights that you've outlined over there, and we will see how those will inform conversations around the reauthorization of AGOA. So I want to thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be out there, some more conversations happening. Hopefully we'll have some time to touch back again. If not, yes. We invite others to continue to follow the Wilson Center webpage, where we've put together a collection of materials, publications, events, all informing the public about AGOA. Witney, did you want to share any final thoughts before we let you go back to all the other meetings and things there?
No, I like to think this is a good moment for U.S.-African relations. I think there's a lot of support for AGOA, a lot of support for deepening the commercial ties. So hopefully these 3 days of meetings, 1 day with the private sector, 2 days with the ministers, really continues the good interaction that was started last year at the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit.
Well, thank you so much. Looking forward to good interaction between the U.S. and Africa. Thank you so much, Witney.
Great. Thanks, Oge.